Again, Simon Weston here, Online Golf Connection, for another swing analysis. Today we've got Aaron Baddley from Australia. Now, first time I saw Aaron Baddley was on TV as a young guy in 1999 playing the Australian Open, which is a major tournament back home in Australia. And at a young age, Aaron Baddley, as still an amateur, managed to win the Australian Open in 1999, which is a fantastic achievement. Soon after that, he was offered a lot of deals to turn pro, and a lot of money enticed him to turn pro basically straight away. And some people thought that was perhaps a mistake, but as it turns out, he knew what he was doing. He came back the next year as a professional and won the Australian Open again in 2000. From there, he went on to win the Greg Norman International, another Australian event, and then went and played the US Tour in America and has won 3 times. So, had a successful career. Could have won a few more times. Is absolutely one of the best putters, always has been. Great record on the putting stats. Today we'll take a look at his golf swing. Now this swing here was probably from the early 2000s, and used this one quite a lot during my lessons. Aaron went to the stack and tilt guys for a while, changed his swing, but didn't work out too well. It's basically gone back to what we see here today, and is playing much better. Now, these 2 camera views are absolutely perfect. Positioned nicely behind him, nice height from the ground. Camera doesn't move during the swing, so this is done very well. Now you see, if you notice, if you take a close look down here on the ground, Aaron's got some kind of alignment stick in front of his toes there. Good way to practice. Very easy to get misaligned when we practice. So professionals will often put down a club or some kind of alignment aid on the ground to help with the aiming correctly. Now you'll notice the lines I've got here on the screen along the top of the head, top of the, in front of his face, shaft plane, shoulder plane, the butt line and the knee line. And then on the right hand side you've got a box around the head, the hips and the shaft, just to give us an indication of where we're starting, and given that the camera's not moving, we'll be able to see what's moving and how it's moving during the swing. So I like to always start with the face-on view. We'll look at the initial takeaway move of Aaron as he moves away from the ball. And you see the nice movement of the chest, shoulders, arms, hands and club all together as one piece. So when I'm teaching my students, I like to see them achieve this type of a takeaway. The left arm and the shaft have moved nicely. The shoulders and the chest has rotated through here. Absolutely perfect takeaway there. Looking at the same thing from the other view, from the down the line, you know, as Aaron's making that takeaway, the club moves up slightly above the original shaft plane, which is very normal. So with these 2 swings here, at the same moment of the swing, club shaft parallel to the ground, you'll notice where his club head is, just slightly in front of his hands. I want you to take a close look at the alignment of Aaron's club face here. You'll notice that this toe of the club is not pointing straight up towards the sky. There's an angle in that club face. The toe is slightly over tilted from the heel. Now, that's where I like the club face to be. A lot of good teachers would like to see the toe of the club in this position, somewhat parallel to the angle of the spine, and also somewhat close enough anyway to being 90 degrees to the original shaft plane. Now, having said that, not every good player is in that position. They don't all have. Some players are more toe up. I've seen Tiger play with the club more toe up than that. Adam Scott, another one. But that to me is a square club face. That's where I like the club to be. So what Aaron's done here is very, very good. Alright, we'll continue him through to more into the 3/4 position here. That being when the left arm is parallel to the ground, and what you'll notice, Aaron's got nice, essentially 90-degree angle on the left wrist. The club's set up there in the air nicely. Shaft plane pointing down towards the ball, so all very textbook stuff here. Classic position, noticing that the right hip has stayed nice and deep up against the back line. Start to see some changes in the knees, the left knee coming forward, the right knee back a little bit. No real lateral movement here in Aaron's takeaway. See his maybe a little bit there, but very little, which is nice. Now, Aaron, you'll notice, is a guy who doesn't lower his head into the ground, and he keeps his head very, very much within the box. Now, I would say this is actually unusual. I'd say most good players will often lower into the ground a bit. The head will often move slightly to the right in the takeaway. So this example here, there's very little movement either laterally or vertically. Not necessarily what everyone should be trying to do, but certainly that's what's happening here. Next thing I want to look at is where Aaron's achieved the top of his backswing, how his hands are finished right on this original shoulder plane line. Fantastic position right here. The club face at the top, see he's got more of a 3/4 length swing, which again I like. The alignment of the club face through here is very close to parallel to the left arm. And again, pretty square. We like to see that among good players. Notice in the Aaron's got a really nice flat left wrist, nice arch in the right wrist. Obviously, you remember at the start, the left wrist had a little angle and the right wrist is flat. So as he makes the golf swing, the angles in the wrist change, and that's very normal, right? So there's a lot of good things to look here in the backswing. Maintain good depth in the pelvis here. Notice that the left knee's pop forward a bit, right knee back, very normal. Right knee is still maintained flex though. Another fantastic aspect to this swing is the width that is maintained through here. So keep those arms and hands out in front of your chest, up there, away from your head. Good thing to do. So all in all, just a fantastic backswing, and one that just absolutely classic. All right, let's go with the forward movement. So as Aaron moves forward down to hit the golf ball, I want you to notice what's happening with the lower body over here on the right hand side. The lower body, the first movement is a slight lateral movement to the left. Notice that there. Right, as well as, of course, there is some turn of the lower body, but the lower body has to move left. The weight's got to move into the left side first. Before you start the arm swing down, before the chest and arm start to move, the lower body has to separate from the upper body and move forward. And you'll see that that's clearly what's happened here in Aaron's swing. So his weight's moving to the left side now, right? Down the line view, as it starts to happen now, you'll notice his head compresses down just a little bit here, and that's what you'd normally see when someone's moving into the left side. The head will tend to lower a bit, okay, so kind of pushing into the ground and create some energy from that move. Shaft plane comes down a little bit shallower than it went back. All right, still a very good position to be in. So you'll see in these two positions, he's roughly in the same place. Left arm parallel to the ground, weight moving forward. Shaft a little bit shallower here coming down, but still a fantastic place to play from. All right. Let's continue forward a bit more. You see the left arm, the angle between the left arm and the shaft as at the top. This angle's starting to lessen slightly as he's coming down, but still. The angle's still mostly there. The force of the golf swing is going to pull that angle down before it gets to the golf ball, which of course you'd need that, and you'll see that right here. So as he comes back in to strike the golf ball, what you've got to realize is he's not coming back to the same place. His shaft is in a different position, his arms are different, his body is different. It's okay, sure, his head's still in the box, but there's a significant amount of change in the position of the body, therefore the arms, and therefore the club. And this is what you see for every good player. They never ever come back to the same spot to try to hit the ball as they were at address. They move into a different position. This is very important. And the same is true, obviously, from the down the line view. Right? The things that have remained the same, he's maintained good depth in his hips. That's a good thing to do. You'll notice now quite clearly that his lower body is more open than it was at address. It was very side on. Shoulders open, square to perhaps slightly open through here. The shaft plane is more upright than the original, which was the yellow line. Again, all very normal to see this. The right foot starts to roll a bit to the inside portion of the right foot. The heel lifts off the ground as the club swings through. Notice here Aaron's exit point as he comes through past his body is relatively upright, so he's going to have a nice high finish at the end there. Good width through the ball. Yeah. Another common trait you see among good players is the angle between the right forearm to the shaft, which is probably, sometimes more than 90 degrees at this point. As he strikes this golf ball, people out there, you need to have this angle, right? The angle of the right forearm to the shaft when you're striking the golf ball. This is absolutely critical for a good impact. What this has given him, and what good players will do, is 3 key points here. The head to remain behind the ball. The lower body weight is favouring the left side, and therefore the shaft and the hands, the shaft leans forward, the hands are ahead of the golf ball. And as I always say, you'll notice the arch in the right wrist and the flat left wrist, and this is the key to good ball striking. Every good player, no matter what their swing looks like, the right wrist will still have some arch in it and the left wrist will be flat. If that left wrist is breaking down and the right wrist is flat at impact, you're going to have all sorts of problems. There we have it. Aaron Baddley. Still a young player, only 31 years old. Still got some more wins in him. As good a putter as he is, I'm sure he's going to win more tournaments, but now that he's gone back to his more traditional classic swing from his youth, I think you see some good things ahead for Aaron. Okay, everyone, hope this has helped you. Hope you enjoyed the analysis of Aaron Baddley. Thanks very much.